Hi, my name is Vince Parker, and I go by vPro Effects on the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Discord server. Um, I've had a lot of people on Discord ask me how I reproduced the Bluetooth signals that the droids react to in the park, and wanted to put this video together to show kind of my process and what I did, and some of the information I've found out along the way. So the first little segment I'm going to do was recorded in the park in the resistance area where I was scanning to show how I picked up signals there, and specifically the ones that the droids react to, as well as like I went through and did a bunch of I had to troubleshoot to find what signals, because there's so many signals that are broadcast in the park for things for the data pad to react to, for hacking points and all that stuff. So finding the right signals that the droids react to just took trial and error here at home, broadcasting different ones until I saw the droids respond, and then found out that a specific piece of manufacturer data that they're sending, which starts with a 0A in the hex data, or the first basically byte of that data, and that's what the droids respond to. So I'll show that and how I scanned and replicated that, and then I'm also going to show how with replicating it, how the droids react, and then also going to show a little bit of a some more information on like where the different signals were in the park. I have a little map that I'm going to show. So hope you enjoy it. Here it is. So I'm in the NRF Connect app, and I'm scanning for signals, Bluetooth signals in the resistance area, and there's lots of different signals that show up. So I have to filter them if I want to just find the Disney signals. And Disney's manufacturer ID is 0183. But when you're filtering for raw data, the manufacturer ID is stored in reverse order at the beginning of the raw data, so it would be 8301 that you'd want to filter for. So once you've done that, you can then just find only the Disney ID device signals. You can then find the ones that are droid specific. I happen to figure out that they started with a 0A, and so if I go 83010A, that will show me just the signals that the droids respond to, and in the resistance area there's one that shows up. And basically with the NRF Connect app you can clone that. So if I hit clone and then go to advertiser, and I have a bunch in here, but the new one will be at the bottom, and you can see there it is cloned from the signal that was sent in the park. So now I can look at it closer by going to edit, and you can see the manufacturer data, and there's the actual data that's sent. So I have my droid here. I'm going to turn him on. Okay. So to show, here's my remote, and you see that this is the remote that it's paired to. So we're going to stick it back here. So now in the NRF Connect app, you'll also see that the droids broadcast. So if I scan, you can see that the droid is broadcasting its signal. So from all the different beacons that I've scanned in the park, or the beacon signals, I have a couple here that I'm going to show. I have one that I recorded from the First Order, and one that I recorded from the resistance area. So I'll go ahead and start with the resistance. I'll turn that one on. Come on, there we go. So now I'm broadcasting. So you can see that he reacts to the signal that's being broadcast. And if I turn that one off, and we'll turn on the First Order, and sometimes they have a timer, so sometimes they'll react right away. Usually I find if they've been off and not seen a beacon, they tend to react sooner, but they do have a random timer, kind of like when they see other droids, which has been there's been people doing that on YouTube where you can see the droids react to each other about every 2 minutes. This seems to be somewhere between 30 seconds to 2 or 3 minutes to react to a beacon once they've seen beacons in the park. So again, it just can be a couple minutes, but you should react, and it'll be a different sound. And there it is. So without the personality chips, they tend to have more sad noises when they see the first order signal versus more energetic noises when they have a resistance signal. Now, you don't need to clone them. You can actually create the signals from scratch in the NRF Connect app by going to Advertiser and pressing the plus button. I'll give this a name of resistance because we'll give it the resistance data, but you really don't need the name. But then you want to click Add Record, and you're going to go down to Manufacturer Data. And then you put the manufacturer ID, which for Disney is 0183. And then for the resistance data, we're going to go 0A, 04, 03, 02, A601. And that will give us the data needed for the droids to react as if it was the resistance. And you'll see now it's at the bottom of the list, and the data is there. We can verify it. There's other options, but you really don't need to set any of those. And then you would just click the little button to activate it, and now it's active and broadcasting. And that's really all you need to do. Now you have data that the droid will react to. Once you have the manufacturer ID and data that the droids react to, you can take that information and program it into Bluetooth low energy devices to create your own beacons outside of using just your phone. So I picked up a Adafruit Bluefruit feather. This is the NRF 52832 Bluefruit, and it has an OLED. I put an OLED feather wing on it so that I can see information as far as what signals I'm sending. And I have 3 buttons here where I can then now choose which one to broadcast. So right now I have a program to do either the first order resistance or the one near the back of the Droid Depot, which is where all the droids are. And so if I were to pick, say, the Droid Depot, and as soon as I started broadcasting, he reacted immediately, which they don't always respond that fast. So another device I picked up is this little Bluetooth development kit from Nordic Semiconductor called the NRF 52840 Dongle. And it's a little harder to program. You have to program it in C using their development tools. But I do hear that you can put CircuitPython on these, but I'm not sure how reliable that is. But I was able to program this and get it to broadcast the first order signal. And I have a little charging brick here that I can just plug it into. And now it's broadcasting. I have all the LEDs and stuff off for it to save on power, so I could have this plugged in for a long period of time and just be broadcasting. But now it's broadcasting that signal, and you can see the droid react. So now I just wanted to show how the beacons show up in the phone if you're scanning with any beacons that you may have made. So if I turn right now, you can see that the droid is still active and is showing its data. And I have my little Bluefruit here. I'm going to go ahead and start broadcasting. So now you can see it shows up, and the data it's broadcasting is the area, the broadcast data from the area of the first order that I found. Now, if I reset this, and switch to, say, the resistance that I programmed, you can see that it changes from the scan, and the data now is, so now the data is the resistance. And I also have the Droid one programmed in here as well. And you'll see it change when I scan again. You see it change. So now, if I were to add in also the Nordic Semiconductor one that I built, and I will just move this guy out of the way for a minute. He's still, the other one's still broadcasting, but I can put this one in, and you'll see that it now shows up broadcasting the first order data. And sometimes I've noticed that the beacons may overlap in the park. At one point when I was finding the Droid Depot, or the one behind Droid Depot, it basically overlaps with where you walk into the first order area. So I've not seen any issues with the droids having multiple beacons, and I'm not sure how they pick which one they pick, or if it's the last one they see. But he just reacted to the first order one, so I'm guessing that's kind of how they work. But this is just to show how you can use multiple types of devices to create these little beacons. I just wanted to add really quick that at the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Discord server, there's been a few of us who've worked on replicating the beacons at home so our droids can react. Specifically, CowKitty and Spork of the Burbank Makerspace have been working really hard on getting a microbit up and running as a low-cost beacon for people to be able to replicate these signals at home, and so they can have their droids react at home. So I'm going to put a link in the description below to their video, so please check it out if you want to be able to do that kind of thing with a microbit. So I built this WebGL map to better show where the signals were found that the droids react to in the park, and also illustrate what we've found out about the structure of the data itself. I'm also making this map available online. I'll make sure that there's a link in the description below. Now if you look at the button list on the left, you'll notice that I've labeled them all with the manufacturer data that's being broadcast by the beacons. And if you click on the buttons, I then show whereabouts on the map that they were located. So for example, the first button shows that that signal was located at the marketplace in front of Doc Ondar's, and also in Droid Depot. Now another thing you'll notice is that I've highlighted the third byte in the data, because it's really the only thing that we've seen as the difference between most of the data being broadcast, except for a couple exceptions. But for the most part, there are 7 different signals, and the difference being that third byte with values 1 through 7. So the second signal was found behind the Droid Depot where all the droids are, and the third signal was found over at the resistance area. So if you want to have your droid react as if it's in the resistance area, you would use this signal with the 03. First order is 7, all the way at the bottom of the list. Now we haven't found 4. We think there probably is a 4 because of other things that we found out about the sounds and the way the droids work, because there are really 7 groups of sounds, and from some really cool work done by Ruthsarian on the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Discord server, from extracting the actual data off of the personality chips, has found that there are really 7 groups of sounds that are triggered by the beacons, by these various signals, and the sounds from a specific group number are triggered by their corresponding broadcast data values. Also, if you want to see some of the really cool stuff that Ruthsarian is doing with the personality chips, I'll be sure to put a link to his channel in the description below. So we know that there are 7 groups, but we have not seen a group 4, so it's either reserved for something or we just haven't seen it yet. Maybe it has to do with the rise of the resistance. Maybe they're going to do something with that and broadcast it once that ride is up. Who knows? But at the time of this recording, we haven't seen that signal. Signal number 5 is also in multiple locations. But there's an interesting thing about signal number 5 is that there's also another signal 5 that's found in front of the cantina that has the 4th byte as an FF. Now, not sure what the difference is as far as how the droids react, and maybe the FF is something to change the timing of when the droid reacts. It's something I'm going to play around with and test later. But as far as the sounds that are played, it's still in group 5 for both the 5 beacon and the 5FF beacon, which is found in front of the cantina. Now the last two signals I haven't mentioned yet, 06 and 07FF. I did not see those in any of my scans at the Disneyland Resort here in the West Coast version of the park. Now, one of our members at the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Discord server, bashNinja, was able to go do scans of Walt Disney World and much more thorough scans than I could do here at Disneyland. But he was kind enough to share his data with me, and he found an 06 signal in Doc Ondar's Den of Antiquities. And also in his data, he had found a 07FF in front of the cantina, just like the 05FF signal. So I decided to add them to this map also, just so you have that data. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments box below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, please click subscribe. If you want to be notified, please click the bell icon so you can get notifications of new videos when they arrive. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the video.